ladies and gentlemen. This story is so sad. It just broke my heart when I read about this thing. This is Randy Cox, and he was given what we all know as a rough ride, and he is now paralyzed because of that rough ride. So, who gave him the rough ride? The New Haven police. So the chief is now calling for these police officers to be fired. They should all be indicted. This is just ridiculous. I mean, how many times have we seen this happen? Too many times. So, cops who mistreated a black man after he was paralyzed in a police van should be fired for their actions, the police chief said Tuesday. Randy Cox, 36, remained paralyzed from the chest on down following an incident in New Haven, Connecticut. On July 19th, 2022, five officers were charged with misdemeanors for their treatment of Cox that day. New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson formally recommended Tuesday that four of those officers be fired and a fifth officer retired in January with full pension despite facing criminal charges. They kill me doing that. This cop did something wrong and you're going to let them retire. Y'all really need to redo a lot of these policies, but I guess they won't ever do that because the policies favor the cop. Even if somebody dies, in the case of Tyree Nichols, or somebody is paralyzed like Randy Cox. It's absolutely crazy. So the message to the community is that we will be transparent, which no police department in America is transparent, and we will be accountable. We know they're not that either. And we will hold our officers accountable, Jacobson said. So, New Haven Police Commissioner will have the final say on the potential firings during the meeting in late April or early May. Cox was initially arrested on Juneteenth at a block party on gun charges. He was placed in the back of a police van without a seatbelt. At one point, the drive to the police station, the van driver, who was Officer Oscar Diaz, slammed on the brakes, which caused Cox to careen his head into the dividing partition. And when he did that, it fractured his neck, leaving him paralyzed. Diaz claimed he braked to avoid an accident. Okay, let's say he did, but that still don't explain why they did not put a seatbelt. All right, so here are the five officers that were involved. It's almost like when these officers are in numbers, they're like a pack of wolves. They are. Nobody has any common sense. They act on impulse and they usually act out violently. So Diaz called the paramedics and he told them to meet him at the police station to pick up Cox. Okay. So the one with the glasses on, he was the one driving the van. That's Oscar Diaz. So once at the station, officers dragged Cox in and out of a wheelchair before leaving him lying on the floor in a holding cell until medical personnel arrived. So the officer with the red on, her name was Betsy Sugai. This is her talking to Cox. You didn't crack your neck. No, you drank too much. Scolded officer Betsy Sugai. This is what she said when Cox said he was in pain. He said he was in pain. And this is what she replied to him, saying, "You didn't crack your neck. You had too much to drink." Well, what did she diagnose him or something? First of all, she is not in any position to tell somebody how they feel. Unbelievable. But do you see how they cover for each other? So, Sugi Diaz and Jocelyn Lavendier, okay, that's the other female officer you see there, Ronald Presley and Luis Rivera, were each charged with reckless endangerment and cruelty. All five officers pled not guilty. Their firings were recommended after an internal investigation. Presley retired early before the investigation was finished. So these officers were sworn to protect the community, but they inflicted unnecessary and traumatizing harm to Randy, who will pay the price for the rest of his life. Cox family attorney is Ben Crump said Tuesday. This is just, this is so sick. It really is. How could you? Yeah, never mind. This is the mentality of the American police. This is how they think, this is how they feel. So, Presley is the only black officer that you see in the picture. So, and nobody should have been allowed to retire during an investigation. That should be halted. Just like in the case of Tyree Nichols, that supervisor should never ever been able to retire. So he don't have to face consequences because he retired. I don't know where y'all came up with this crap, but clearly this policy or whatever it is was in the best interest of a police officer. Definitely not in the best interest of the victim at all. So they should definitely be charged and all of them should be jailed, as far as I'm concerned. But it's just more tragedy at the hands of police. Instead of doing your job and properly transporting this person you picked up, you decided to cause harm to them. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.